Wait, was that the huge whale you saw in your dream?
So we've met it at last. I understand very well why it has chosen to make an appearance here. That whale does not belong to Tevat. It is a monster that has traversed the stars, weeping all the while. It has been greedily consuming the energy from the planet's primordial sea, using it to grow. That is the main cause for the rising sea. And once it has finished consuming all of the energy contained within the sea, its next step will be...
You said that when the Hydro Archon first created Fontanians out of Oceanids, she filled their blood...
Precisely. That whale finds the blood of Fontanians nigh impossible to resist. Therefore, when it left the primordial sea, it decided to make its next stop a packed opera house full of food. Food in the form of...
We just barely managed to push it back, right? In that case, won't it come back to target the people again?
That is correct. Indeed, it is more accurate to say that we should thank that Harbinger for buying us some time. Without him, from the way he looked, he must have been fighting the creature for quite...
That battle maniac. We've always known that he had a special connection with that whale, but we definitely didn't expect it to help us out like this. Anyway, now that we know that this whale is the actual cause of the disaster recorded in the prophecy, all we need to do to stop the prophecy would be to find a way to beat it up, right?
It is too late. It had already absorbed too much of the primordial sea's energy before we could notice it. At this point, it has become even if the entirety of Tevat were to be destroyed, it could still survive and swim off towards some other world.
That's not something We've already done everything we can. We've come so far.
Indeed. That's not how a grand performance...
I'll fight it to the end.
So the prophecy will be fulfilled no matter what, huh?
The prophecy. Yes, what has been Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, could things be happening in hidden corners where the gods' gaze does not fall? Ultimately, fate shall serve as your own...
What's happening with the oratories?
I believe it is preparing to carry out the death sentence.
Farina! No, I still need answers.
You...
Sorry. That shocked expression on your face is just too amusing. I couldn't help myself.
You are not Farina. Who are you?
The sweet sound of bewilderment. Marvelous. A sure sign that my attempt to deceive everyone was a resounding success. But to answer your question, I am Focalor. You know, the god.
Focalor, why did you deceive us?
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. Goodness, no. But I had to fool everyone else too, if I was to stand any chance of deceiving the heavenly principles.
Deceiving the heavenly principles?
It's all because of that pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. Fontaine condemned to be flooded. One was not amused. In fact, one was positively bemused when that problem was thrust upon me by my dearest predecessor. That's the former Hydro Archon Egeria, for the uninitiated. It hardly gets more disastrous than a preordained national catastrophe. She knew full well that the prophecy would surely come to pass. And as one of the seven, she also knew full well that one defies the heavenly So yes, as you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather impossible situation that I found myself in. I spent a terribly long time mulling it over, alone on the ocean floor. And I was almost growing barnacles by the time I finally realized I had to outwit the heavenly principles, allow the prophecy to be fulfilled, ostensibly at least, while saving everyone at the I'm a genius, I know. I can only assume that's why Egeria chose me as her successor. Although, looking back now, it was hardly the inheritance one dreams of. Between the task of saving the nation, the quotidian duties of the Hydro Archon, and not to mention the original sin of creating a new race of humans, I dare say she left me quite a colossal mess to clean up. But one can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this, any more than I chose to be one of—
So you were also once one of the Oceanids, transformed into a human by Egeria's hand.
Yes, I was. I always dreamed of becoming human. And I still do, even now. After becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body and spirit, leaving behind only a self that was as naive and bewildered as my past self on her first day as a human. The me you see before you now is that divinity. And the human counterpart I left behind, I named Farina. She could feel joy, sorrow, and everything in between. She could be as vain and conceited, or as meek and vulnerable as she wished. Her strengths were of a kind only a human could possess, as were her shortcomings. But in my eyes, Farina's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly human in every way. Anyway, so then all part of the plan, of course. The plan to deceive— Do you still remember the final scene of the prophecy? The Hydra Archon alone, weeping on her throne. In order that the prophecy might appear fulfilled, I invited Farina to be an actress. Under the curse I placed on her, so long as I, Focalor's divinity, continued to exist, she could not die. But nor was she free to live her life in the pursuit of happiness. Instead, she was forced to take the stage in the opera house, to embrace the role of leading lady, to forever play the part of the god from the prophecy, all to create a deceitful appearance of that prophecy coming. I suppose now you probably understand why your court is called the Opera Epiclese.
But Farina is only human. Even though she has had a long life, her mind is no stronger than that of any other ordinary. I cannot begin to fathom what she has had to endure.
It has indeed. And although she is, in a sense, me in human form, I most definitely owe her an apology for— It's been 500 years. And all along, she's been playing her part in the most unimaginably long, unbearably lonely, and agonizingly painful opera of all time.
Oh, who permitted you to come onto the stage? Now, I understand your admiration for my august self. All right. It is not my intent to reprimand you. There is no need to state your name. Just be off with you. Do not distract me from my performance. Oh, do not jest. Can you not feel it? I am Focalor, the eyes of countless Dear audience, the performance is experiencing a technical difficulty, but worry not. The guards shall resolve it soon enough.
This may hurt a little. Yeah.
May I present? Hey, what gives? The audience is still watching me, you know. Guards? Wait, where are the guards? Guards!
Now you shall perish!
The Temple of Wisdom.
Farina.
Huh? Who's that? Who's calling me? Where?
Be not nervous. Be not afraid.
Wait a moment. You're mirror me? How?
Mirror you, huh?
Mirror me?
The prophecy.
What prophecy? The people will all.
Oh.
What's going on?
Yes, it will. And that is why I've come to you.
But doesn't that mean everyone will die?
Oh, don't worry. I will tell you how to save everyone, but...
But if there were...
I suppose this would also be the justice. Huh? Don't worry.
Play as...
That's right. You must begin a never-ending... If you can keep it up, then I shall have my way of defying this prophecy. But
how will I do this?
don't worry. What you must do is not to turn yourself into a real god. Being a human yourself, remember, your true challenge will not be pursuing
So, how long?
To accomplish this mission, you will have to stay on the stage, but I promise you,
A trial. Huh. The Maison Cardinal. What should I say to most... I'm sure you've all heard. In truth, I know little about as the god Focalor. Once again, this... I thought I might...
That's the new Hydro Archon. Is this some kind of joke by the Maison? I would have thought that a being that surpasses humanity...
Hey, did you hear that? She even told us to send her suggestions there at the end.
Shouldn't gods be all-powerful? She's being so modest. What's the...
If you ask me, perhaps the succession didn't actually happen. She might...
Wait, what's going on? Right. Calm down, Farina. Think. Assertive, with a strong sense of presence. One who can... Now, I was wondering if some... You may consider my... Now then!
So that was just a performance. How could I have forgotten that we were...
Personality? It's quite shocking, to be honest, but I suppose it's a better look than before.
Such a fascinating and bold deity. How wonderful! Our future may yet be bright after all.
It seems I've turned them around. Best follow this flow and... My dear people, whether you acknowledge me or not, whether you trust me or nay, I say to you, keep faith in your ardor, for we have heard it said that this nation's sins can no longer... The scales of May law be the prayer on our lips. May judgment be our worship. Let us light the fire. There is no trouble so long as I...
Lady Farina, here today.
Besides,
If that's true,
No need for fright. And do not take what I said before too seriously. Go now. Do your duties.
Lady Farina,
No need to thank. All right.
He's...
Lady Farina, you're
I see. It's as I thought then. As your god, I did all manner of... Really?
I'm...
The day is fine, but it's good. Maybe this is fun.
Lady Farina, here are the new trial reports for the latest case.
They'll be...
Lady Farina...
Indeed, my...
Lady Farina, we're detecting significant...
Understood. I feel...
Lady Farina, it's... I've heard that the first... Are you crying?
This must be the overflow of hydro from my person. Well, can't quite help being the god.
No.
So interminable. Hundreds of years must have passed by now. Perhaps the show must go on for hundreds I never imagined. Have I want to tell someone, anyone, about this. But with that, I have conducted so many investigations across the centuries. All I can do is keep heart. I must mean...
Farina, you don't have to show... Although I don't know what you might be keeping from everyone. You're...
Share. That's impossible. It was fated right from the start that...
But even if your burden doesn't need to be shared, you can just share it with me.
A witness. Yes, I've heard. And if Tevat is, in its entirety, a show on a stage, then you... He's right. I could confirm, but if things don't play... No, Farina. But what if... Farina, is it such an outrage if you let this opera think about it long and hard? No, I have nothing to say. All you need to do, dear spectator, is to
Fine.
So even Farina doesn't know the truth? You've never once let her in on the full plan?
Yes, it had to be done. To deceive the heavenly principles, you must first deceive She did very well. If she had let her resolve falter even once in these 5 centuries, Fontaine would have been doomed to— It seems that trusting
I believe that I understand how your deception works, but that is only half the truth, is it not? How would you build on this foundation to save the people of Fontaine? That is the most important thing.
Ah, good. Of course, the Iudex of Fontaine has pinpointed the crux of the issue. I'm sure you've long sensed that the Oratrice is no simple machine, yes?
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness. And Lenny did mention that he heard a human voice within the core chamber. It now seems that that person was you, hidden within the machine all along.
And then I became one with the Oratrice, taking Fontaine's gnosis with me. Yes, it would seem so. Alas, your understanding of this device still lacks sufficient— In truth, it is no enactor of justice. It is, in fact, a device created to kill. Oh, you have it. And to be more precise, not only will the Oratrice take down the God of Justice, it will also take down the divine throne upon— I mean, did you think I would be the sort to enjoy peaceful repose while Farina suffered? My work over these last 500 years has been to— But really, some have already discovered that only a small fraction of the energy generated by the device was ever used to provide— The vast majority had to be accumulated.
It was all a part of your plan then? Both—
Indeed. This power, accrued over 5 centuries, could have— But only power of this magnitude could hope to destroy the Hydro Archon's divine throne.
So the Oratrice's call for death was for neither Farina nor Focalor, but for the destruction of that divine throne. If I do not misunderstand your intent, you must be—
Returning what's rightfully yours to you, of course. In other words, this was all done to return the authority of the Hydro Archon to the Hydro Dragon of this planet.
But—
No, what? Get the authority of the ancient dragons shall soon be yours once more, O Hydro Dragon Sovereign.
All you've done throughout the years is just so you can—
I've never quite seen it that way, you know. Even now, I'm quite pleased at how well my deception worked. Hydro Dragon, I must say, had it been within my rights, I would have loved to judge the heavenly principles themselves. Were they— Egeria stole the power of the primordial sea, and the heavenly principles stole the power you ancient dragons possessed. I, for my part, am the god of justice. And is it not just that your original powers should be— Speaking of justice, I have always believed that justice— So, if the theft of the primordial sea's might was Fontaine's original— Then, leaving matters of— In other words, defying the prophecy, at this point, we, Iudex Neuvillette, the highest judge in our land, when you regain your full power as an—
So when I was invited to the court of Fontaine to serve as Iudex, I see— At last. I now In the beginning, I was uninterested in human existence. But these 5 centuries of living alongside them have gradually brought about You are a devious one, Focalors. Things being as they are, surely you know that I could never declare them to be guilty.
The hour of my execution is almost here. For the sinner, the curtain call has come. I know I may not sound it, but faced with death, I find myself a little afraid. Perhaps this is one thing both gods and humans have in common. Farewell, Nervalette. I hope you've enjoyed the part you played these 500 years.
Codex Nervalette, hereby declare, people of Fontaine, your sins are forgiven.
What just happened? Has the death sentence been carried out?
Was that bright light some sort of misdirection? I have a feeling that something huge just happened.
But since we're all still alive and haven't been dissolved, I assume whatever happened was good for us.
It's time to end this. We must mete out punishment to that beast.
But didn't you say just a moment ago that it can't be defeated?
I have gained the strength sufficient to deal with it. Through certain means, I now have the ability to separate the power of the Primordial Sea from that creature. We should seize the opportunity to pursue our quarry. Traveler, now that the oratories can no longer function, I require an executor to help me mete out justice. The root of the calamities befalling Fontaine, the beast that enacts the prophecy. Its name is the all-devouring Narwhal. Come with me, traveler.
But how are we going to do that? It's huge!
done my best to separate the power of the platforms. Considering the past, I cannot reach the power source. Unless we can find a way to attack it from within. I shall share a part of the ancient dragon's power with you. We shall look for an opening. I can feel its sorrow turning into hostility.
Inazuma shines eternal! Shine down!
Everybody stand back!
The all-devouring narwhal cannot resist its instinct to devour. Continue to trigger its hostility. A chance will present itself.
Make yourselves at home!
Oh, brilliant!
There is no escape!
Strike a pose!
Why is there a rolling thingy over there? It looks really scary!
Shine down!
Committed to memory!
Granted you my protection. Do not fear. Seize the moment and use my power to suppress its root from within.
Illusion shattered!
Going in!
Torn to oblivion!
This may hurt a little. The Temple of Wisdom!
Time to shine!
Shine down!
Shower new things!
Now you shall perish! Illusion shattered!
Let's light it up! Everybody stand back!
There is no escape!
The authority of the ancient dragon. Witness the might of the primordial sea.
Roll! Make yourselves at home!
Shine down! Inazuma shines eternal!
Teamwork is dreamwork!
There is no escape!
Thanks for helping with the cleanup. It should have been my job, but it was just supposed to be a short private training session for me. I didn't think that my disciple and my master's pet would start brawling in the Well, actually, I had a feeling that it would happen at some point, but they bumped into one another earlier than I thought.
That power. Who are you?
Paimon has an idea. From what she said earlier, she must be Child's master. It's just that he gave us the impression that she was, less...
I simply did not have anything to say to the weak. But you, on the other hand, so you may speak to me as equals. I have to agree. It's a strange use of a planet's primordial waters just to raise an all-devour. That kind of power is wasted on it. It's not cooperative. It eats too much. And I have more important things to do with my time than pet sitting. The only thing that creature has going for it is its looks. All in all, it fails as a pet.
Miss Skirk? I think...
The point being...
Well, being that this pet almost destroyed an entire name, so what sort of person is your master? Well, Child's master's master.
Oh, right. So you don't know him. Sorry, his name is Sir Tologi.
Huh?
I am unfamiliar with that name.
Huh. So Master is insufficiently famous. How should I describe...
The Foul?
Still nothing? Well, how about the Visionary?
Ooh, that one we've heard! Rhine-Doctor's part of the Hexen Circle. She's Albedo's mom, right?
Oh, so you do know that name. To be honest, I also heard all of those names and titles from my master. But I suppose you understand now, yes? My master is likely a similar sort to Rhine-Daughter. They are both pursuing some form of perfection.
Wait! Didn't you also mention a visionary person?
Actually, never mind that. I bet the all-devouring narwhal used up nearly all its strength fighting you. Such roiling hydro energies will prove difficult for the planet's deep seas to digest. As such, the fontaine back on the surface has most likely been thrown into chaos. In other words, the prophecy that you've been fretting over should now be in full swing.
What?
Not to worry. Focalor has already managed to...
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only Farina will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
All hands, initiate emergency rescue! water's receding!
It's a miracle!
Water's receding.
We didn't dissolve. The prophecy was wrong. The prophecy was wrong.
Are you alright?
We're safe. The prophecy was wrong.
The soil renewed. Old soil, skyship, the various dispute. People always call the first researcher mad, but few know what to call the second. And should that latter... Wow! Paimon barely recognizes the people in the reports. Are those really Juria and Navia? They sound like real...
What do you think? Pretty enthralling, huh? The Steambird's idea was pretty simple. With the disaster just having passed, the value for these big scoops lies in their inevitable. Edwin's assistant, Jurier, created a true flying ship, while Navia is leading people in the reconstruction of their home.
Paimon's curious too! Wait a minute. Didn't we watch it?
And that's exactly why I'd like you.
Are you sure? Hasn't he turned you down several times?
Oh, this time will be different. Come on, let's head to Poisson first.